My stepmother removed me and my sister from Dad's inheritance right after he died, so I told her she's not my family anymore. She acted shocked, but she knew exactly what she was doing. In the quiet, dimly lit corner of a bustling coffee shop, a young woman with a furrowed brow sat hunched over her laptop. The caffeinated aroma wafted around her, melding with the murmur of distant conversations and the clinking of cups. Her eyes, red-rimmed and brimming with unshed tears, scanned the screen, searching for words that could capture the tumult of emotions roiling within her. Her name was Luna, and she was wrestling with a weight that had latched onto her soul like a stubborn barnacle. Luna's fingers danced over the keyboard, typing out a story that was both deeply personal and universally relatable. It was about family, love, and the thorny underbrush of obligation. Her tale began with the fracture of her own family tree, a divorce that had occurred when she and her sister were mere saplings. They had remained with their mother, a woman whose love was as inconsistent as the seasons. Yet, she was all they had known for years. Her father, a distant figure in their lives, had eventually found solace in the arms of another. Enter the stepmother, a woman who had initially sparkled like a fresh snowfall but had revealed a colder, harsher side over time. Luna had been hopeful, eager to embrace this new addition to their lives, but she had been met with a coolness that bordered on indifference. It was as if she were looking at her reflection in a frozen lake, seeing something that resembled warmth but was utterly incapable of providing it. Summary to the power of one: Luna, a 21-year-old, sits in a coffee shop, recounting her life's narrative on her laptop. Her parents' divorce left her and her 26-year-old sister with their unpredictable mother. Later, their father married a woman who Luna initially liked, but she soon discovered the stepmother's indifferent nature, which was starkly contrasted with her expectations of a loving, supportive family member. The first cracks in their relationship had appeared when Luna was just 12 years old, a time when the storms of adolescence had yet to fully brew. Her mother, in a fit of rage, had left bruises on her body that echoed the pain in her heart. Desperate for refuge, she had turned to the one person who should have offered sanctuary, her stepmother-to-be. But the door had remained firmly closed, the excuses as flimsy as a leaf in a gale. "My roommates," she had said, "I can't have you here." As Luna sat outside, shivering in the cold, she had wondered if she had ever truly mattered to the woman who would soon be part of their family. The story grew more complex as the years passed, a tapestry of moments woven together by threads of resentment and hope. The stepmother had eventually married their father and moved into a house, a place that felt more like a fortress than a home to Luna and her sister. Invitations to stay over were rare, always met with the same non-committal smile and the promise of "we'll see." It was a dance they had become all too familiar with, one step forward, two steps back, until they had all but disappeared from each other's lives. The coffee shop's door swung open, letting in a blast of cold air that made Luna shiver. She took a deep breath, sipped her now lukewarm coffee, and continued typing. Her mind flitted back to the fateful year when the pandemic had ravaged the world and claimed her father's life. The grief had been a tsunami, crashing into their lives and leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. But amidst the ruins, the stepmother had emerged, a figure cloaked in the guise of sorrow but wielding a sharp knife of self-interest. The inheritance had been a mirage, a cruel trick of the desert sun. Debts had surfaced, and Luna had felt the noose of obligation tighten around her neck. She had signed away her rights, her voice a mere whisper against the howling wind of family pressure. Now, as she stared at the blank page, she knew she had to tell her story. Not just for herself, but for the viewers out there who might be feeling the same way. She wanted them to know that they weren't alone in their struggles, that their pain was valid. Luna took another deep breath, her eyes focusing on the screen with newfound resolve. The words began to flow more freely now, a river carving through the stony landscape of her heart. She wrote about the notary's office, the coldness of the room mirroring the chill in her stepmother's eyes. She wrote about the betrayal, the anger, and the sadness that had settled in her chest like a heavy stone. But then she came to the part where everything changed, where the plot twisted like a vine around an unsuspecting tree. While her father had been ill, she had found solace in her grandfather's old study. It was there, amidst dusty books and yellowed photographs, that she had stumbled upon an overlooked clause in her father's will. It was a beacon in the darkness, a loophole that hinted at her father's love and protection even in death. The clause stated that any debts incurred by the estate would be shared equally among all his children, not just the two of them. It was a revelation that set her heart racing and her mind ablaze with possibility. With the tenacity of a wolf defending its pack, Luna gathered her strength and dove into a legal battle she never could have imagined. The stepmother's facade began to crack under the scrutiny of the court, and the dark secrets she had so carefully hidden began to spill out like ink on a blotter. Luna discovered that her father had indeed contributed to the house, not just financially, but with his sweat and tears. The furniture, The very essence of the home was a testament to his love and labor. As she dug deeper, Luna found allies in the most unexpected places. Old acquaintances from her father's past emerged from the shadows, offering support and stories that painted a picture of the woman her stepmother truly was. They spoke of manipulation and greed, of a woman who had used her father's kindness as a ladder to climb higher, leaving him bruised and broken. Their testimonies were like drops of water on a spiderweb, slowly revealing the intricate patterns of deceit that had held their lives captive. The legal battle was long and arduous, each day a battlefield where she faced not only her stepmother but also the weight of familial expectations. Yet, Luna persevered, driven by a burning need for justice and a quiet hope that she could reclaim a piece of her father's legacy. Her sister, initially skeptical, had come to stand by her side, their bond forged anew in the fires of shared adversity. The courtroom was a stage for a drama that had been playing out for years, a silent war of wills that had now found its voice. The stepmother's eyes darted around the room, seeking allies in the faces of the jury and the judge, but finding only the cold, unyielding stare of the truth. Luna felt the air thicken with tension, each breath a struggle against the oppressive weight of the lies that had shaped their lives. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, something began to shift. The stepmother's once confident stride grew tentative, her voice wavered like a candle in the wind, and Luna, though weary and scarred from the fight, felt the first stirrings of something she hadn't felt in years: hope. The story grew, each paragraph a brick in the foundation of understanding that she was building for her viewers. She described the courtroom in vivid detail, the smell of stale air and the sound of shuffling papers, a symphony of justice in the making. The final paragraphs grew near, and Luna knew she had to end on a cliffhanger, something that would leave her audience gasping for the next chapter in this saga of family, loss, and the quest for belonging. The verdict was handed down, and Luna watched as the stepmother's face crumpled like a paper mask, revealing the true visage beneath. But the victory was bittersweet, for in her quest to claim her inheritance, she had uncovered a tapestry of deceit that had bound her family in invisible chains. The house, once a symbol of hope and love, now stood as a monument to the shackles of the past. With a final click of the publish button, Luna's story went live. She sat back in her chair, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. The comments began to flood in, a river of words that washed over her like a balm. People shared their own experiences, their own battles, and their own moments of triumph. Her YouTube channel's reach grew, not just in numbers, but in hearts touched and lives changed. Days turned into weeks, and the buzz of the courtroom slowly faded into the background. Luna had won the legal battle, but the emotional war raged on. Then, one quiet evening, her phone buzzed with a message she never expected to receive. It was her stepmother, reaching out with trembling fingers and a heart laid bare. "Luna," the message began, "I know you think the worst of me, but there's so much you don't know. I never wanted to be the villain in your story, but life had other plans. I've made mistakes, so many of them. But I need you to understand, I did it all for love." Intrigued and slightly hopeful, Luna agreed to meet her stepmother at a neutral location. The park where they used to go when she was a child seemed like the perfect setting for this unexpected conversation. As they sat on the same bench that had hosted countless laughs and silent tears, the stepmother began to weave a tale that was as complex as it was heartbreaking. Her stepmother spoke of her own childhood, one fraught with pain and abandonment. She had been raised by a series of cruel guardians, each leaving their own distinct scars. The fear of rejection had become a shadow that had followed her into every relationship, a specter that had colored her interactions with Luna and her sister. Her marriage to their father had been a desperate grasp at stability, a fortress against the world that had never offered her a soft place to land. Through a veil of tears, she revealed the truth about the debts and the manipulation. It wasn't greed that had driven her but a deep, unspoken fear of losing everything she had built. The house had been a bastion against the storm, a symbol of the love she had never known. And in her desperation to hold on to it, she had lost sight of the very people who could have brought her the warmth she craved. Luna listened, her anger slowly dissipating like mist in the sun. She saw the woman before her not as a monster, but as a person broken by life's cruel hand. Her stepmother's story didn't excuse the hurt she had caused, but it did offer a glimpse into the complex tapestry of human emotion that had led them to this moment. The journey of forgiveness and healing was a long and winding road. There were days when Luna felt like she was taking 2 steps forward only to stumble back one. But with each shared memory, each whispered secret, and each tear shed, the ice between them began to melt. They discovered common ground in their love for their father, a man who had been a lighthouse in their tumultuous seas. Their relationship grew tentatively, like a plant pushing through concrete. They found moments of laughter amidst the ruins of their past, moments where the sun shone through the cracks in their hearts, The house, once a battleground, became a place of solace, a place where they could both find refuge from the storms of their lives. And so, Luna's story grew a new chapter, one of understanding and growth. Her stepmother had become not just a figure in the background, but a person with a heart that bled the same shade of red. They agreed to share the house, not just as roommates, but as family. Each day was a chance to rewrite the narrative of their lives, to forge a new bond built on empathy and love. As they walked out of the park, the sun setting in a blaze of orange and pink, Luna felt the weight of the past begin to lift. It was a new dawn, a chance to redefine what family truly meant. And as they stepped into the future together, she knew that her YouTube channel had not only gained in reach but had also become a beacon for those navigating the choppy waters of forgiveness and healing. The mysterious envelope had arrived a week later, a silent messenger from the past. Luna's heart had raced as she had carefully opened it, her curiosity piqued by the faded scent of her father's cologne that clung to the aged paper within. The letters, penned in a handwriting she had almost forgotten, were a testament to a love that had been buried beneath years of anger and resentment. Each page revealed a piece of their mother's heart, a love so profound that it had transcended the barriers of time and loss. Her father's words painted a picture of a man who had loved two women with all his might, torn between his duty to his first family and the love that had found him when he was adrift. The letter spoke of his regret, his fear of losing his daughter's love, and his hope that one day they would understand the complexity of his heart. As she read, Luna felt the ice around her own heart begin to crack, revealing the warmth of compassion that had been buried beneath the frost. Together, Luna and her stepmother read the letters, each word a bridge connecting their fractured hearts. They sat in the living room of the house that had become both a battleground and a sanctuary, the walls whispering secrets of a love that had never truly disappeared. The letters were a map, leading them through the tangled forest of their history, showing them the path to a place where they could stand as one, united in their love for the man who had brought them together. The journey was not an easy one. There were moments when the shadows of doubt and anger threatened to engulf them, but they held on to the light of their newfound understanding like a lifeline. The house, once a prison of unspoken grief, transformed into a haven of shared memories and late-night confessions. They found comfort in the creaks of the floorboards and the whispers of the wind through the trees, knowing that their father's spirit was with them, guiding them towards peace. The letters had been a gift, a key to unlock the cage of misunderstanding that had kept them apart. As they read about her father's fears and hopes, Luna saw the humanity in her stepmother, the vulnerability that she had hidden so well. The stepmother, in turn, saw the strength in Luna, the fiery determination that had fueled her quest for justice. Slowly, they began to build a new relationship, one founded on honesty and acceptance. They talked about the past, about the pain and the love that had shaped them into who they were today. And as they did, the house grew warmer, filling with the laughter of shared stories and the gentle hum of companionship. The comments on Luna's YouTube videos grew more poignant, a testament to the power of their story. Viewers shared their own journeys of forgiveness, their own battles with the specters of the past. And as the numbers grew, so too did the bonds between them, a community of souls reaching out to each other in the vast digital expanse. The house, once a silent witness to their strife, now echoed with the sound of their laughter, the warmth of their embraces. And as they sat together, their hearts open and their eyes clear, Luna knew that she had not only reclaimed her father's legacy, but had also discovered a family she had never truly lost. The camera rolled, capturing the raw emotion of their reconciliation, a story that transcended the screen and touched the hearts of all who watched. One sun-drenched afternoon, as they pored over old photo albums, the doorbell chimed, a discordant note in their harmony. Luna's heart skipped a beat as she opened the door to find an elegant, silver-haired woman with piercing blue eyes that mirrored her own. The stranger introduced herself as their great-aunt Clara, a relative they had never met, a woman who held the final piece of their father's puzzle. With trembling hands, Clara presented them with a dusty, leather-bound book. "This," she said, her voice quivering with emotion, "is your true inheritance. It's the story of your family, a legacy that goes far beyond the walls of this house." As they opened the book, pages yellowed with time, they found a rich tapestry of love, sacrifice, and courage that had been woven through generations. The story of a lineage that had survived wars, famines, and heartaches, each thread contributing to the fabric of their own beings. The revelation shook the foundation of what they thought they knew about their family. As they turned the pages, they discovered that their father had been part of a secret society, one that had guarded the knowledge of an ancient artifact, an amulet of unimaginable power. The amulet had been passed down through the generations, each guardian adding their own thread to the family tapestry. Their great-aunt explained that their father had entrusted her with this information, knowing that it would be safe with her until the time was right. The true meaning of inheritance had been hidden in plain sight all along, not in the material possessions but in the stories and the strength that flowed through their veins. The weight of this newfound responsibility settled heavily upon Luna and her stepmother. They had inherited a legacy that was both a gift and a burden. The amulet was not just a symbol of their family's past but a key to an uncharted future, one fraught with danger and adventure. With their hearts bound by the threads of truth, they set forth on a journey that would take them beyond the confines of their small town, beyond the shadow of their painful history. The house, now a bastion of unity, stood proudly in the background, a silent sentinel of their shared destiny. And as they ventured into the unknown, they carried with them the love and lessons of their father, the wisdom of their ancestors, and the unshakable bond that had been forged in the crucible of their shared experience. Their story grew with each step they took, each discovery they made. The YouTube channel no longer just documented their healing but became a chronicle of their adventures, a beacon of hope for those who felt lost or alone in the world. They had become more than just relatives, they were now custodians of a lineage that stretched back through time, united by a common purpose and a shared love. Their father's spirit watched over them, a gentle guide as they faced the trials ahead. And as they grew closer, Luna and her stepmother discovered that the true power of the amulet was not in its ancient magic but in the love and strength that it had brought to their family. It was a symbol of unity, a reminder that no matter how tangled the threads of our lives may become, love can always weave them back together. With every video uploaded, their audience grew, eager to follow the unfolding saga of the amulet and the two unlikely heroes it had chosen. The story of their family grew into a legend, inspiring others to seek out their own lost histories and embrace the complexities of their own hearts. Together, they faced the challenges of the outside world, each step a testament to their resilience and the unbreakable bond that had been forged in the fires of adversity. The house, once a prison of pain, had become the launchpad for their epic journey, a place where they returned to recharge and reconnect, to remember who they were and where they had come from. Their stepmother's eyes, once cold and distant, now sparkled with the warmth of a mother's love. Luna had found in her not just an ally but a confidant, a woman who understood the depths of her pain and shared in her newfound purpose. And as they stood hand in hand, the amulet resting between them, they knew that their father had left them something far more precious than a house filled with furniture. The treasure trove was hidden in the attic, a place that had long held the whispers of secrets and lost dreams. Dusty trunks and forgotten letters spoke of a lineage of strong, resilient women who had faced adversity with unyielding grace. Each artifact, each tattered dress, each faded photograph was a testament to the power of the female spirit that flowed through their veins. They read the diaries of their great-grandmothers and great-aunts, women who had survived wars and hardship, their stories a balm to the bruises of their own hearts. Inspired by these tales of courage, Luna and her stepmother decided to create the Women's Legacy Foundation, a haven for those navigating the tumultuous waters of family and identity. It would be a place where the bruised and broken could find solace, where the threads of their own stories could be woven into a tapestry of strength and support. Through the foundation, they would offer legal aid, counseling, and a community for those who felt lost in the shadow of their family's past. Their YouTube channel evolved into a platform for the foundation, each video a beacon of hope for those who felt unheard. They shared their own experiences, the highs and lows of their journey to healing, and the powerful lessons they had learned from the women who had come before them. The comments section became a bastion of empathy and encouragement, a digital campfire around which viewers gathered to share their own stories and find comfort in the knowledge that they were not alone. The foundation grew, its roots reaching into the hearts of people all over the world. The house that had once stood as a barricade between them now became the headquarters for their mission. Each room was filled with the echoes of their ancestors' laughter, the walls adorned with the faces of those they had helped. The amulet, once a source of conflict, now rested in a glass case in the foundation's office, a symbol of the unity and love that had transformed their lives. As they worked tirelessly, they uncovered more of their family's history, each discovery a stepping stone in their journey towards empowerment. They found letters from great-grandmothers who had fought for women's suffrage, diaries of aunts who had hidden refugees in their basements during the war, and photographs of strong, proud women standing tall in the face of adversity. These treasures not only validated their own struggles but also served as a blueprint for the legacy they wanted to leave behind. Their story had become more than just a tale of personal triumph over tragedy. It was now a saga of sisterhood and strength, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had been passed down through generations. And as they stood in the house that had once been a prison of pain, Luna and her stepmother knew that they had found their true inheritance, the power to heal, to help, and to leave a mark on the world that would resonate for centuries to come. The camera rolled, capturing not just their smiles but the light that shone from their very souls, a light that would guide others to find their own way home.